my name is Sarah, and today we're going to be talking about the history of xylophones. Yeah, so I know, looking at that word, it looks really difficult to pronounce. It begins with an X. How do we even pronounce the letter X in English? I'm not even sure. But in this case, it is xylophones. Xylophone. Xylophone. You can practice pronouncing that at home. So here it sounds kind of like a Z. Sometimes it sounds like a C or an S. I don't even know, you guys. English is confusing sometimes, but it's also kind of fun, right? Anyway, so we're going to be learning about the history of xylophones, which are the instruments that you can see right over here. So it's usually got some little rods, and then there's a little mallet they use to hit it. It's kind of like a piano, but without strings. So it uses the size and shape of the blocks or the pieces of metal on the top in order to create the notes. So when I was a kid, I used to love these things. I'm sure my mom was not a fan, but yeah, I'm very interested to hear where they're from. The xylophone is an instrument that belongs to the percussion family. It has wooden bars that make sound when hit by mallets. The xylophone is often mistaken with the glockenspiel, which is a similar instrument with metal plates. It also has an easily recognizable sound that is commonly described as being bright and clear. Very interesting. So a percussion instrument, something like a drum or a cymbal, any kind of instrument that requires you to hit it, either with your hand or with something else, that's a percussion instrument. So xylophones, drums, maracas, all that stuff, those are all percussion instruments because you're listening to the sound of something being hit as opposed to being like strings plucked, or what do you call it when you play a violin? So I think in Korean it would be kyoda. I'm not even sure if we have a word for that in English. No, I think you just say play the violin in English. Anyway, so basically to create the vibrations that create the sound, that create the music, you have to hit something. So that's the most important part to remember when you're talking about percussion instruments. And so you can use these percussion instruments, these xylophones, by hitting them with a mallet. So a mallet is typically a stick made out of wood that has a little head on the front, so that when you use it to hit something, it makes a very satisfying, very nice sound. And this sound is very easily recognizable. So a lot of times when people hear the sound of the xylophone, they immediately know exactly what it is because they can recognize it right away. Next slide. While the instrument was created during ancient times, its actual origin is debated. While some experts believe it came from Southeast Asia and made its way to Africa in AD 500, others insist it came directly from Africa. So when we say that something's origin is somewhere, that means that it originally comes from that place. So it originates, it's 원래, from that place. And so some people say that the xylophone came from Southeast Asia. So that's where like Vietnam, Thailand, the Philippines, those countries are. And then it made its way, or it went to Africa in AD 500. But some people say that it was originally in Africa and that's where it came from originally. Nevertheless, concrete evidence for the earliest xylophones comes from Southeast Asia during the 9th century. As for instruments similar to the xylophone, there's an ancient wood instrument from China that dates back to 2000 BC. That is crazy. China is just so, old and ancient. It's wild when you think about it. So, nevertheless, so in spite of the fact that some people say it's from Africa, some people say it's from Southeast Asia, there's kind of this argument going on in the xylophone historiography community, I guess. Concrete evidence, or 국제적인 evidence. So when you get concrete evidence, it doesn't literally have to mean that it's actually made out of, physical, real like concrete. But in this case, it just means solid and, applicable evidence. So this article says that it came from Southeast Asia. I don't know. It says that there was an instrument in China that was really similar back in 2000 BC. So honestly, who knows? Regions in Africa, however, have a more detailed and deep culture when it comes to xylophones. The balafon is a type of xylophone that uses gourds to create resonance. With West African origins, the balafon dates back to the 12th century. Very interesting. So it seems like Southeast Asia has had xylophones for longer, but people actually use xylophones more in Africa. So I guess I can understand where the confusion comes from. So in Africa, there's a type of xylophone called a balafon. And I'm actually not sure which African language that is from. It sounds like it might be like Wolof, maybe Swahili, I'm not sure. But just so you know, there are literally hundreds of languages spoken in Africa. So yeah, it can be sometimes difficult to know exactly, where certain words come from. But, if any of you guys happen to know, I'd be very interested to hear in the comment section below. So this balafon uses a gourd, which is like it's almost like a pumpkin. And they use these gourds to create resonance. So for instance, when we're listening to music, especially when someone is singing or playing a violin, a lot of times the note is it's not just simply ah, and you go ah. It's called vibrato or resonance. So they can use these gourds to create that kind of ah sound to make it sound really cool, I guess. So this balafon, it dates back to the 12th century, so it's been around for quite a long time too. So I actually have an announcement to make. Sadly, this will be my last video filming with the Taimscoor, so even though I'm kind of sad, I hope that all of you guys enjoyed the videos that I helped make for these past few months, and if you ever see me on the street, don't hesitate to say hello. I would love to actually meet someone who watched these videos. So alright, well, for the last time, I guess, I hope that all of you guys have a wonderful day, and I hope that you are able to learn a lot of English and achieve all your dreams in the future. Alright, have a great day. See you guys around. Bye.